whatever it was.
You should do a bit like at the start, like before the music plays, where it's just like you edit just yourself in, just saying like this episode of the Whiskey Bagel Podcast contains spoilers for Life is Strange. So
well, that you just did it then. You just did it then.
Okay, that works. Welcome to the Whiskey Bagel Podcast, back again with StarStrike and Mire. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, thank you, StarStrike. How are you doing?
Pretty good, my dude.
So today we decided that we're gonna start our first episode off by talking about Life is Strange and the release of Life is Strange Before the Storm. Start this off as our first episode because both of us are pretty big fans of it, and we'll eventually move into finishing Before the Storm and use that as an episode in the future. So, yeah, Life is Strange. It's a game we both picked up in 2016 and both loved immensely, I imagine.
God, it's fucking great.
Yeah, you want to talk about some of your time with it, StarStrike?
Yeah, sure. Fundamentally, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a bit of a sketchy game. The way it was constructed, like the way, I guess the engine sort of limited a lot of it. So it's not obviously extremely like graphically amazing, but it's like still good. It's not horrible.
I think the art direction it went with though kind of counteracts the lack of graphical fidelity that it did actually have.
Yeah. It kind of counters that by making it so that's just the sort of style.
Yeah, more stylized.
Yeah.
And a lot of games usually do that to like crop it off and just say, oh yeah, easy, simple, easier graphics, but they actually did it fairly well in A Life is Strange. Yeah,
it was really good. The thing that really dragged me into it was the story, which obviously is like the entire point of the game. I don't know, it's just all the little aspects that really just stacked up, you know, really made it a great experience.
Well, it did have a rather intriguing storyline for only a 5 episodes of game. As we did mention at the beginning, though, there will be spoilers throughout this that we're going to talk about, so if you are currently playing Life is Strange or keen on playing it in the future, just be aware of that.
Definitely don't watch this if you're playing.
Yeah. But I like Life is Strange. I'm not a massive fan of it. I prefer something with a little more gameplay aspect. I don't want to sound just like shitty gamer that wants to be doing something intensive all the time, because I enjoy games without any gameplay aspects like One Shot. That was fantastic. But the story itself wasn't super there for me until around episode 4. Mr. Jefferson was kind of brought into the mixture as a proper character.
I don't know. For me, episode 2 was when it happened. Like the first episode was a bit slow.
Episode 1 kind of just felt like an establishment that wasn't necessary.
Episode 1 wasn't. It's still good, but it wasn't to the point where like that's sort of felt I need to. This is like a really really amazing game. I'm like, this is pretty good. The episode 2 onwards is where I really liked mindset of this is really good.
Yeah, I was close to that around episode 4, as I said, because at the time it was kind of like, here's your gimmick, here's your time travel visual novel-esque social interaction with a little bit of exploration. I'm like, it's fine. I was being pushed to play it, and you didn't have it at the time I played through episodes 1 to 3. I'm pretty sure you picked up around when I got to that part at the end of 3 and tried to catch up and did a little more than that.
Average. Kind of powered through it.
So I kind of dropped it at the end of episode 3 when Chloe was found in the wheelchair at the door, because I was... For me, that was like... For a lot of people, it was like, oh yeah, cliffhanger, oh my god, what the hell is this? How's this going to be resolved? I was more like, what the hell? What is this? Why? This is so needlessly complex. But then you kind of got through that, told me to, get onto it because you did episode 4, and I was like, fine, yeah. I suppose I'll continue.
I remember I did it in 3 parts. I did 1 and 2, and then I did 3 and 4, and then I was going to do 5, and you told me to wait.
Yeah, because you fucking were doing all of them too.
You're like, wait, we'll do 5 together. And I'm like, okay. And I reckon maybe about 10 minutes later, I played through episode 5.
Yeah, So yeah, I was thinking we talk about a few of our decisions first. Specifically, what we would just bring up was Chloe in the wheelchair, and how, you had that pretty hefty decision at the end of that little arc.
I have screenshots somewhere of my choices just so I could go over them.
I think I remember a few. Essentially, that kind of was a moment for me, I felt, out of the game so far, because the first parts felt non-impactful. It felt scripted. When Chloe fell on the train tracks, it was like, oh yeah, you got to help her off because the game won't proceed unless you do.
I like that though. That was good. I mean, it was a pretty boring part of the game, but I still enjoyed it.
I'm not saying it wasn't enjoyable. I'm just saying it's kind of less freedom orientated.
Yeah.
So at that part, I took to discussion with a lot of people because I think that the game at that part inspired, talk to your friends who did what, because, it also encourages that once you finish a chapter, it would say, what your friends and
these are your choices, these are the choices of your friends, here are the overall choices. That
was pretty cool. I personally chose to let Chloe die at that part. I felt suffering enough. What reason was there for her to just stay in a painful situation like that, especially if you're going to leave, which you end up doing back to your own kind of parallel timeline.
I let it. I just left her to live.
Well,
I just can't kill her.
Well, each their own, I suppose, but I disagree with that because she'd probably just actually, on that matter, would Max even still be there, or for that timeline, or would she just vanish?
I never thought about that. I think I don't really actually know. I reckon it'd be she would still be in that timeline. Our Max sort of took over that.
Yeah.
And then when she left, that'd still be a Max in that timeline.
I mean,
but it would just go back to the way the way it was before, where they didn't really.
I wonder if she would have known though about the decisions made in that time.
Probably not.
So that would be a bit strange. Anyway, that was a key moment for me. I felt that was probably the most important moment personally, apart from the big plotline parts.
I found my choices for episode 3.
Okay, so yeah, you want to go through a few of those?
Oh yeah, there was either Frank or Chloe could end up with David's gun.
David's gun? Oh yes, that.
Yeah, mine and Chloe ended up with it. Which is a bit triggering here because it says 66% had Chloe having David's gun and 34% had Frank, which kind of triggers me because I thought it would be a bit more 50-50 split. But
how about, does it say, wait, if you kept your plant alive, your room?
Oh, in the short, yeah, hang on, let me have a look. That's episode 2, I think.
I'm pretty sure I kept mine alive. I watered that every day.
I forgot about it.
Oh, God. Quality. So, how about episode 5? Because that's the part where you said to me you were kind of impacted by a lot of the stuff.
Bay or Bay?
Oh my God, I see what you did there. Fucking goddamn it.
No, that's a thing. That's not. I didn't make that up. That's a thing.
Oh, Jesus. I haven't seen this.
It's what it's been dubbed.
Bay or Bay. Okay.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. Episode 2, you watered your plant.
You did it! Yes! Plant's alive!
Woo! Are you clapping or are you...
I mean, probably both.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, episode 5. Bay or Bay?
I don't remember what you... Oh, no, I do remember what you picked.
Yep.
But do you want to tell me your reasons why?
I don't want to publicly say...
Yeah, you do.
That I had a virtual crush on Chloe.
You don't want to say you had a virtual crush on Chloe.
Shut the fuck up. The fact that the whole game, I felt, and 90% of all the emotional connection was between you and Chloe more so than the rest of the town.
I suppose.
And I know I went back and I did both endings. I don't want to say that. I did both endings. I've saved before the choice and then did both endings. But the ending I ended up with, I decided to stick with, was when, Arcadia Bay gets destroyed and everyone dies, but you and Chloe are still there. And I guess the reason I really did that, I don't know, I just felt much better connection with Chloe, and I felt like the whole point of the experience, at least for me, was just the whole thing between Max and Chloe.
I think they tried to do the town connection in the earlier episodes.
Yeah, they did.
Because, Chloe wasn't there for the start of 1. She kind of came in later in. And then it's like, you get to go to the diner and meet
Joyce.
Yeah, Joyce, that's the one.
And Frank, my favorite character in the whole game besides Chloe.
I liked Warren. Warren was fantastic.
I mean, I just friend zoned him at every turn.
He was ultimate Bay, in my opinion. Fuck Chloe.
Fucking Christ.
But yeah, at the very end, I chose to save Arcadia Bay. I just feel like I didn't connect as much with Chloe. Like, a good character, still part of the story. And the way everything kind of turned out, it felt like save everybody, and that just seemed like a better idea than just Chloe.
Yeah, definitely.
If I didn't, like, because you had some level of commitment to a character, while I was kind of more like, I don't really mind. I prefer Warren. What I'd like to know, because they said they're going to make it to a trilogy,
Yes, there's going to be, there was this, and then there's Before the Storm, and then there's going to be Life is Strange 2.
I don't know how they're going to do Life is Strange 2.
Yeah, neither do I.
Because, you make a choice at the end, one of two. How the hell is that going to work?
They're gonna have to pick a canon choice, and that's what I think is gonna ruin it.
Yeah, that's gonna destroy it for a lot of people. And it is, it's definitely gonna be Chloe Lives. Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie. As much as I really like both endings. And obviously I decided to keep Chloe alive. The better ending to the game is when you sacrifice her.
I thought that was... Oh, actually, yes. I remember we talked about this for
the
a little
Arcadia
bit.
Bay cutscene is you just kind of like drive out and look through all the destruction.
Well, I liked the sacrifice Chloe ending. It was good.
It was the better ending. That's what I'm trying to say.
I feel like it was a bit quick though.
Yeah, both endings were really quick. They went through at the same time. I think the sacrifice Chloe was actually a bit longer.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense because they tried to wrap her up with the scenarios that happens in the rest of the town, and the town, is still alive, so they're going to show that. But it was still really quick. It was like, here's the town, here's a funeral, let's put her in the grave. It's sad. Credits. They could have elongated some of it because the game was long. There were 5 acts.
Yeah, they could have made the ending a bit longer. Yeah. But I guess the way I see it is the whole last episode was kind of the ending for me. Like that whole bit where everything starts getting like really weird. She passes out on top of the mountaintop.
Oh yeah, and then you're in like that weird.
Like everything, they did the first act of the game. The first thing you do when you leave the classroom, but everything's in reverse, even the song.
Yeah, that was cool.
I reckon from that point, that whole bit for me was the ending. So for me, I didn't feel it wasn't long enough because I feel like that was a solid chunk. I feel like the majority of the final episode was the ending for me.
I'd call that closer to a wrap-up. Like Lord of the Rings, if we bring that up for a moment, the movie specifically. At the end of that, you have, the ring gets thrown into Mount Doom. And then you've got your ending after that, which is Frodo joins the elves to go to the Undying Lands. They show Sam sort of becomes the mayor of the Shire. They show some of the rest of the gang kind of leaving off on to do their own things. And that takes a good 13, 15 minutes on its own. And that kind of feels like the ending to me. If I base it off that, Chloe either staying with you and you leaving, or you deciding to sacrifice Chloe feels like the part with the ending. The choice itself, that's what And I think just past that, because you've made so many connections in the game and it's trying to be social, it just felt really, really fast. Anyway, to branch off from this, Before the Storm, you bought it pretty much as a pre-order, didn't you, StarStrike?
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the first episode a little bit?
It was alright. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. No, it wasn't bad.
We had our hopes
pretty high.
Pretty high, yeah. Well, I haven't got it myself yet. The massive sort of gripe for everybody is it's not even made by the same company.
Yeah, and it's a different voice actor.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that. I'm just going to say straight out, I'm not okay with that. Because that felt like a voice actor in a game like this feels like the character.
It wasn't. I'm just going to say it wasn't that huge of a deal when you actually played. It there wasn't really a huge difference.
Well, that and my personal question was the original game had time travel as a large component, and they used that so when you make your decisions, you could go back over if you didn't like your choice, or it'd say this choice matters a lot. The character will remember this, and so on. So how'd they handle that in Before the Storm?
It was pretty much just the same, without the time traveling mechanics. So the decisions were a lot more fun.
That's kind of weird. I mean, not the fact that it's removed, that makes sense, but I don't know, I expected them to do something, because I suppose with a different company, though, they might not have. I don't know, I haven't played it myself yet, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. I imagine I need to give it a go.
Save your...
I'll reserve my judgment for now. Are you able to give up a non-spoilery summary of the first episode, like, kind of where it goes at all?
It starts out, I don't know how long exactly after the original, but it starts around the time of the original.
Okay.
Like before maybe a couple months, or pretty much sort of setting up the original game. It's like all the build up with Rachel.
Because Rachel's your sub character.
Yeah, before Max comes back and all that sort of stuff. It's about the best I can do without giving.
The most I can gather is like Chloe had blue hair in Life is Strange, and she doesn't yet. Before the Storm, so it must be some chunk of time before Rachel's there, and she was she was killed by Mr. Jefferson, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the eventual outcome.
It's going to be 3 episodes in total.
3 episodes, and then if you pre-ordered the special edition, there's a bonus episode where you play as Max.
I kind of hope I can still get my hands on that somehow.
Yeah, you'll probably be able to. There'll probably be a way to get it.
Probably be some kind of full edition on Steam, I imagine, where they rip.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't.
I'm kind of excited to see how that goes down.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped.
How would they handle that if it's kind of meant to be a mystery? Until Life is Strange, because Chloe didn't know. Rachel just went missing. How's that?
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting to think about.
I reckon I'm kind of looking forward to it near the end of the game, how they're going to handle, if they're going to have it be, in the end Rachel's still there, if they're going to make her disappear as part of the plot, and the reaction to that.
They could make it part of the ending. After this sort of stuff happened, Rachel disappears or some shit like that.
That's what I'm hoping for. A bit of a interest.
Because I don't know what the full plot would be over a full 3 episodes. Otherwise, it just sounds at the moment like it's not gone anywhere. It's just like, here are your characters.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't want it to be super flop, because Life is Strange was good, and I want it to get some publicity, so Life is Strange 2 does well, even if I don't agree with the idea of it being sequeled.
I don't mind it. I'm just a bit concerned about how they'll handle it.
I want to first of all talk about the music.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It is so good. If you haven't heard Life is Strange soundtrack, you got to listen to the soundtrack. It's so phenomenal. It's not... Actually, I'm not sure how to explain it. You want to do that, dude?
It's really...
I don't know what genre you'd kind of call it.
They kind of change it up. It's not one sort of genre. There's a lot of different types of music on there.
Well,
it's just good. You just got to listen to it.
It feels like acoustic post-rock.
Yeah.
That's probably the closest I could say, but holy shit. We'll take a moment out of every month to make sure that Life is Strange soundtrack is in my playlist, because it's just so fucking fantastic.
I play it. I listen to it all the time.
Or we always, well, not always, but it has been chucked in on call on occasion too.
Yeah, it's usually me.
Yeah, it is usually you, but still, no one argues with it. No one fucking better argue with it. So I'd say the soundtrack in gaming, compared to what other games do these days, where they just piece together something that feels like, the tone, and they don't bother making it quality. They went above and beyond for Life is Strange. It's just amazing.
It's very, very good.
How about what are your thoughts on, let's just say, Chloe as a character?
Yes.
What makes her interesting in your opinion, or what made her good for the story?
the original Life is Strange anyway
Yes,
was
yeah.
the sort of, I don't know, it was kind of just you didn't really know anything about her,
Yeah,
if you know what I mean, and it was kind of that whole, like, you're sort of forming a connection to them.
yeah.
So it was kind of alluring, I guess, in the fact that you kind of just wanted to find out more about the character, which just sort of happened the
Yeah,
further in you
I
got.
think they did well with that. Because
Yeah, they did a heaps good job with that.
a good focus of the game was, you have to care about the people in order to make a decision at the end, or any of the decisions in the game.
Yeah,
And they had to sell Chloe to you as like, this is a person you care about,
yeah,
and they did that
definitely.
pretty well. At the start, it kind of just felt like, generic rebellious teenager, and hey, I lost my friend, be my friend again. That's like all it really said.
It really
to me
picked up. It really picked up the further in it got. The start of that was a bit iffy, but
yeah.
later on it was very good.
I personally preferred as a character Max, even though I suppose she was a lot more stale. A lot of people say, like, because she's quiet, and I don't want to sound like a turd that oh look, it's that that main character surrogate that does nothing, so anyone can relate to them.
Yeah,
But the fact that she was like quiet, but still had her own quirks and manner of kind of dealing with things, it was enough so that she felt like a character, even though you got to make your own decisions as her. I felt personally.
yeah, that's fair enough.
Because she had an interest in photography. She would make her own comments when you examine stuff that gave her enough personality to be unique. But she was still more on the
Reserved.
yeah. I liked her as a character. Personally.
Yeah, she was a great character. I felt like it was a very good sort of character to be playing as, like,
I suppose. And they like enough emotion in her so that things like in episode 4, 5, actually, she had some level of reaction. She wasn't just dead silent. Like, hey, you handle the emotional response because you're the player. No, she was a character, which she was meant to be, and she actually had a level of care for everything that went on.
Yeah.
Like, when you were in the crazy place at the end of 5, she made subtle comments here and there, like, what the fuck is going on, and when she was captured by Mr. Jefferson in that weird...
The dark room.
Yeah, the dark room, which was fucking creepy as shit, mind you.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah, she would talk about how, like, I don't want to be here. Are these girls the people that were done before? And she was like, this is disgusting. This is fucked up. This is sick. Rather than just being silent, like, look at this. Now, you can think whatever the fuck you want, but I don't care. No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it was very outspoken in that episode.
So, I think the game, as a whole, was constructed, like, with a level of care that we don't see very often in games now. I feel like a lot of games are just trying to... Here, look, this is cool, or this is fun, play it, because we want your money.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't trying to cash in on anything.
Yeah.
It was very standalone and very well crafted.
Because
very thought out.
They took their time to make each episode individually.
Oh, yeah, they took a couple months in between each episode.
Kind of like, let's put the polish on it so people know, we made the game the way it should be made, good and well. And with enough decisions to make it your own, but also a good story. I thought it was a pretty fantastic game. I thought the start was slow. Past episode 2, yeah, I'll say past episode 2. 3 and onwards was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were the highlight.
So I'm gonna give some final thoughts here and say I'd give Life is Strange. I'm not gonna give it a number, because that feels too subjective, personally. I'd say if I would recommend this game to somebody, I'd say yes. I'd say very enthusiastically. And would I be pressuring people to play it so that I could talk about it with them? Not to that extent. I wouldn't say, like, hey, this is an absolute must-have. But I definitely try to encourage people to play it. So if you haven't played it yet, pick it up.
I strongly recommend playing it. It's just really good. I've gotten a couple of people I know to start it up. It's just a really good experience. You should really play it. I'm also not going to give it a number though, because it's all my personal opinion anyway. So I'm not really gonna. Yeah.
I think it's also quite well oriented for group play. As we said before, there's decisions you can discuss. That's,
Yeah, definitely.
That leans itself to, having a group of people that all have touched on it.
Yeah, it's a very good game which sort of can breed a lot of discussion.
Yeah. Now, before the
She's
storm, you wanted to talk about some of the predictions for it.
I don't really know how they're going to build up that Chloe-Rachel relationship thing.
Okay, yeah.
I know the first episode already did a somewhat decent job, but I think the second episode is going to be pretty much another bit of the first episode. Cheers. But I reckon the last episode, what I'm hoping for anyway, and I'll put a prediction out, is it's going to be Chloe trying to deal with Rachel's disappearance before Max gets back and all that sort of stuff, I reckon.
I guess I'm seeing that they're probably going to have to do some kind of really kind of emotional moment so that you can get attached to the connection.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to have to.
I don't know what that would be, but
yeah, neither do I. They're going to have to do something though.
Yeah,
that'll really.
So I have my hype there for that. Are they in Arcadia Bay?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. In that case, we're probably also going to see Mr. Jefferson step in at some point.
I reckon at some point, yeah.
I don't know how or why, but they definitely do that, even though it's happened.
Well,
a foreshadowing saying, yeah, I know Rachel.
Yeah, there's already been, here's the thing, at this point in the game, Chloe isn't not going to, she's going to Blackwell.
Oh, okay.
And that sort of stuff.
So they'll definitely meet.
Yeah, they'll meet at some point.
Because I don't know how they'd handle it otherwise. Because Rachel just disappearing would be so abrupt. And regardless, they got to also make it so if people decided to start with Before the Storm, it can still make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know some people they've picked up because they're like, must do it in chronological order, not release date order. And if they just said, bye Rachel, then it would be like, okay.
Yeah, they need to cater it to new players.
Yeah. You don't play as Rachel at all in the game, though, do you?
Well, I don't, at least not through episode 1 at all. I doubt that they'll change it out in further episodes.
I mean, they didn't change it in Life is Strange from Max to Chloe at all, but I'm just saying maybe because it is a new company, they might want to lean some other perspectives.
Yeah, they might do it. I don't really know if they will, but I reckon it might actually be a pretty interesting idea.
I think it would be cool.
if they pull it off.
Because then they could totally finish up episode 2 from her perspective. I don't know, she could be wandering out in that car yard or some shit. But then
definitely.
you could hear something ominous is happening. It's Mr. Jefferson or something like that. Or what's his face? The kid that was helping him out. Oh, fuck, what was that bastard kid's name?
Nathan,
yeah. Or
he's already appeared. He's appeared.
But I can just see a weird, creepy ending that would be so good.
Sorry, I forgot to mention previously, is the soundtrack in Before the Storm. It was done by Daughter, if you know who they are.
No, I don't actually.
Oh, well, they've got some really good stuff, and they have the specific song, which is the main point, where the game really feels, life is strange, when they're on the train and they're heading to the scrapyard for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a song called Through the Cellar Door. It's really good. It fits the tone really well. Yeah, I reckon Nathan and actually no, I don't think Nathan will. Actually, personally, I think Jefferson will definitely, but I don't think you will see Nathan as that sort of character yet.
Well, actually, because he kind of was revealed. He was big reveal, Nathan's in cahoots.
Yeah, he's the whole point.
Yeah. Although, actually, hang on, didn't Chloe have some kind of deal with Nathan at the start of episode 1 in Life is Strange?
Yeah.
Was that drugs or some shit?
Yeah, she wanted money.
I see. So that'd have to be brought up, wouldn't it?
Maybe. I reckon that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen in game. I reckon that'll just be something that's kept a bit ominous.
Yeah, maybe. It's not super necessary. I just thought that's a possible opening they could look at.
Yeah, they could do that, definitely.
But I'm gonna have to listen to this music you said.
Yeah, listen to it. We'll chuck it in call after we finished up here.
Yeah, sure. Sounds like an awesome idea.
Just because we still have to do leveling.
Of course.
Fun fantasy. Hell yeah.
So, Before the Storm, I haven't played it yet, but this definitely warrants picking up. Do you know when episode 2 is coming out?
Episode 2, I believe, is coming out in about a month.
Okay. That's pretty quick, actually.
I think it's September now, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, near the end.
I actually think it's coming out late November. early December.
Oh, okay. So
They're
we'll
having
drag
like
into
maybe
next year a little bit.
2 or 3 months ish, and then there's another episode after that. The one thing I'm hoping is that they don't release the pre-order, the special episode, too late after 3. I hope they just do 3 and the special one together.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird if they made you wait for bonus content. I don't know why they do that.
Be sketchy, but you know.
Besides, there's going to be, well, it's not a small break, it'll be a very large break before Life is Strange 2, so it makes sense, I guess. Not that I'd be happy with it. Anyway, I suppose that's really all we needed to talk about here, unless we wanted to...
Yeah, I'm good to finish this up around now.
In that case, I'm going to say this is a topic we're definitely going to bring up again, but we're only going to probably bring it up once before the storm is over, and then maybe when Life is Strange 2 comes around. I don't know how long it will be before the storm finishes, but I imagine like 4 or 5 months, maybe 6, a while. But we'll come back to visit it once I've played through all of it, once StarStrike has played through all of it, and we can take a look at it ourselves, rather, finally. So once we're finished looking at it, we'll come back with another episode and we'll talk about how we felt about the entirety of it and the changes and the differences between the two, what we think is better, what we think is worse, and how we feel about the game as a whole. But yeah, this is the end of the Whiskey Bagel episode 1. We're still in trial run. We're still getting used to how we feel about talking to each other in a perspective like this. I imagine it'll be a while before we get completely comfortable. But I hope you guys enjoyed.
Still sort of figuring out how this whole podcast thing works, and they'll only be getting better. So
yeah, well, they can't get worse unless we get fucking smashed mid-session. Anyway, I think next week we're going to start by bringing up Final Fantasy XIV so we can talk a little about that, because that's going to be kind of another major topic as time goes on, and we'll probably have quite a few episodes on that, so I want to bring that in early. Might also get a guest in. Yeah, thanks for listening to the Whiskey Bagel Podcast. You can find us on iTunes under Whiskey Bagel. You can find us here on YouTube on my YouTube channel, Mire. It won't be uploaded to StarStrike's YouTube channel just because we want to keep it singular. You can follow us on Twitter or Twitch or our Tumblr by looking at the links in the description. And we'll also keep some other details down there for whatever necessities come in the episodes for each weekend, maybe some plans for the future as well. But anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you in 2 weeks' time.
Goodbye.